Who is Ireland's strongest team currently? Well, you probably think it's going to be a very easy choice. There's not that much depth. That's not the case at all. Trying to make this list was extremely difficult, but I will be telling you in this video who I think Ireland's strongest 23 is currently, not just the starting lineup, the bench as well, and which players I also think just narrowly miss out on that selection in my strongest team currently for Ireland. Now this is obviously who Andy Farrell probably will pick as well, but I can tell you right now there's a lot of competition in Ireland. With the injuries that happened, players have really come through and shown what they are made of. It's a very exciting time for Ireland rugby. They kind of struggled last year, at the end of last year, with inconsistency, injuries, lack of depth, but now in the Six Nations, players have been given opportunities. Ireland have built depth, and they've got a really good squad on their hands, and they're looking like one of the better squads in world rugby currently, so it's going to be very exciting to see what they do going forward. But starting off with number one, I've gone for Andrew Porter, a guy that's a bit of a no-brainer right now, a very good player for Ireland. He has had an injury recently, but he's going to be back, and he's going to be very important, which I think they were really missing Andrew Porter in the Six Nations. Moving on to number two is a no-brainer as well. One of the best forwards in world rugby, Dan Sheehan. I mean, this guy is so versatile. He can play loose forward at the end of the game. We've seen it for Leinster, breaking the line like a centre. One of the best players on maul attack as well. Dan Sheehan at number two. Moving on to number three is a guy that's been kind of struggling with form, struggling with a calf injury, Tide Furlong. So he's been not at his best. Some games looking good in patches. And I think a lot of the players have been looking good in patches where some of them maybe were a lot better a few years ago. But I think Tide Furlong still gets the belief from the coaches. He's still one of those guys that can put in some really big performances at the top level. I think Tide Furlong deserves to be in that number 3 jersey. I don't think he'll have another World Cup after this one. I think this will probably be his last World Cup. Might be the last World Cup for a lot of these players, but I think Ireland have a lot of younger guys coming through that will really kind of learn from guys like Tide Furlong as well. Moving on to the locks. Now this is where it was very, very difficult for me because Joe McCarthy and James Ryan have kind of been bouncing in and out of the starting lineup, having different roles. Joe McCarthy kind of playing off the bench as well. But for me, number 4, Joe McCarthy, and number 5, James Ryan, where they have a really good balance right now. Joe McCarthy kind of has that athletic kind of play to him. He runs like a backline player. He's really good with the stuff you see, all the showboating stuff. Not really showboating, but you know what I mean. He's good with running those lines. He's a very fast player. All the stuff that's good to the eye, Joe McCarthy does really well. Don't get me wrong, he does the really hard, unseen work really well. But number 5, James Ryan. What a player. He does all the unseen, nitty-gritty hard work extremely well. I mean, this guy is probably one of those guys like a Franco Mostert that just doesn't get enough recognition, that does so much hard work. Yes, he gets into other teams' faces. He kind of gets under their skin. But I promise you, if you're a South African fan, we have players like that as well. If you're an All Blacks fan, there's players like that as well. And to be honest, you love those players playing for your team, but you don't like playing against those players. Like, I'm sure All Blacks fans absolutely love Tupou Vaa'i playing for them. Springbok fans love Edmund Etzebeth. We love those players like Erge Snyman as well. So I'm pretty sure Irish fans or Ireland fans absolutely love James Ryan playing for them. So he does that really well of getting under their skin. But as I said, Joe McCarthy and James Ryan just have that really good balance of one being very versatile, very athletic, and the other one just being really good at doing the unseen nitty-gritty hard work very well. Moving on to number 6 is a guy that I think is the best forward in the Ireland forward pack and the best forward in the Ireland team by probably quite a long shot right now. I think Tide Byrne at number 6 is just the perfect position for him. He can kind of impact the game in many ways, line out time, and it also leaves room for a James Ryan and a Joe McCarthy to still be in the team. But I think Tide Byrne is such a phenomenal rugby player. He's good over the ball, he's good at line out time, he's good with more defense, more offense, he's good around the park, he's got a good skill set. For me right now, Tide Byrne is the best forward in the Ireland team by far. But let me know in the comments down below who you think is the most important forward in the Ireland team and the most important back as well, because there's a lot of guys that are very important, and it could be a toss-up between 2 or 3 players from the forwards and the backs as well. But moving on to number 7 is an ex-World Rugby Player of the Year, Josh van der Flier. Now, last year he was playing some really average rugby for me. I mean, the last few years he's been really a bit of not a downward spiral, but not at his best. I mean, he still played British and Irish Lions. He didn't really make the test team, so that was very disappointing for him. And his coach for Ireland was the coach there, so he must have been very disappointed with that. But recently, Josh van der Flier has really just upped his game to another level, shown how kind of impressive he is, how athletic he is, how fast he is. To be honest, he runs like a centre or a wing sometimes. He's very fast, he's very explosive, and his role within the attack is running those kind of lines off the shoulder, the tip passes, off Caelan Doris, off Tide Byrne, off Tide Furlong. He's one of those players that does that very well. We saw it in the England game. He broke the line, I think twice, some really big line breaks, showcasing his speed. He did struggle against France, but after that game, every single opportunity he had after that, he really picked it up and showed why he was a World Player of the Year before. So when Josh van der Flier is firing at his best, he's playing some exceptional rugby and is a very important player for Ireland. Moving on to number 8 is a guy that I've said so many times before is such a good player, Caelan Doris, the captain of this Ireland team. Obviously they're going to choose the captain, but he's really good all around the park, line out time. He's a bit of a jack of all trades as well. So him and Jack Conan can just do everything. But I think Caelan Doris kind of struggled at the start of his captaincy tenure to just kind of have a rhythm of playing the game to his best ability while being a good captain. But now he just looks a lot more comfortable being that captain, but not letting it at all affect how he plays the game. Because the one thing he does so well, which I think is so underrated with what he does, is his decision making and playmaking with ball in hand is just out of this world for a forward, for a number 8. I mean, the decisions he makes, if I think of the try Jamie Osborne scored against Scotland in the first half in the final Six Nations game, I think it went to Tide Furlong. He played out the back to Caelan Doris. Then Caelan Doris had a guy outside his shoulder and played the perfect timing pass out the back to Jack Crowley, who gave a nice flat ball to Jamie Osborne to score near the poles or under the poles. But either way, that was Caelan Doris that really set that up with just how perfectly he times those passes, how good his skill set is to kind of draw that defender in, kind of make it seem like he's playing the tip pass or taking contact and just quickly playing the ball out the back. He does that very well. He's done that many times before, and I think that's something he does very well, is either playing the ball out the back or at the perfect time playing the tip ball, the tip pass on his outside shoulder. He does that extremely well. He's got a very important role in the team. So Caelan Doris at 8, a very strong forward pack. But moving on to number 9 is probably the most important player in the team, Jamison Gibson-Park. Every single thing in this team runs through Jamison Gibson-Park. When he's having a good game, the whole team's having a good game. If you think France game, maybe he didn't play to his best ability in the first game of the Six Nations, kicking the ball away a lot. You can see Ireland struggled, but when he gets that front foot ball, when the forwards are giving him that clean ball, that aggressive cleaning at the breakdown, he just plays some phenomenal rugby. I mean, that England game, he was absolutely everywhere. And the one thing with Jamison Gibson-Park that he does, which is very underrated, or was underrated, now it's not, he's very good over the ball. He's a very good fetcher. He's very good at stealing the ball on the ground. He's very physical. He's got a good tackle fight as well. And he's just such a good playmaker. He's one of those scrum offs. Him and Antoine Dupont are probably two of the only scrum offs that do this, where most of the attack goes through them. Like, yes, a lot of the time it goes through Jack Crowley as well, which other countries really kind of preface playing off their fly half, off their centre, off their fullback, where how many times have you seen Ireland or Leinster on the 5 meter line of the opposition? You can see that blind side's open and Jamison Gibson-Park plays around the fringes, or he gives that flat long pass, try assist to the winger in the corner or the forward in the outside channel, and they score that try. That's something he does very well, and a lot of the try assists and a lot of the tries happen because of his decision making around the fringes and just the kind of crazy things he does around the park. So Jamison Gibson-Park at number 9, they are really going to miss him when he retires, so he's a very important player right now. Number 10 is a guy that I think has kind of cemented himself in the team through the Six Nations, Jack Crowley. It was a bit of a toss-up, a bit of a debate between Sam Prendergast, Harry Byrne and Jack Crowley, and I think Harry Byrne right now probably is the number 2 option with how he's playing for Leinster. Maybe Sam Prendergast has to make a move to a different team like a Connacht or something where he can get more opportunities, because it looks like Harry Byrne right now is the player there, and he's not an old guy either, so that's a bit of a worry for him. But number 10, Jack Crowley, shown how competitive he is in the Six Nations. He's a very competitive rugby player. Yes, his kicking still needs to work on, but I think every single kicker goes through a phase where they're a bit more inconsistent with the kicking, and rather have it now than have it in the World Cup for him. I mean, the whole thing with Ireland right now, which is doing really well for them, normally they are absolutely peaking a year out from a World Cup, and in the World Cups, they just collapse. Now they've kind of slowly been going in an upward trend and looking really good and better every single game they play, which is very good if you think of the timing with the World Cup next year in 2027. It's a very good time for the Ireland team to be trending up at the right time. But moving on to number 11 is a guy who absolutely tore up his country of birth last year, Mack Hansen. He has been battling a bit of an injury, but this guy's a utility. He's definitely going to be in the number 11 or number 14 jersey, but I think number 11 to cater for who is going to be in the number 14 jersey. He's a phenomenal player, good under the high ball, good kicking game, good IQ. You can play on the wing, you can play at outside centre if you want him to as well. Could probably stick him at 10 and he'd do alright. I mean, he's just an absolutely incredible rugby player. So Mack Hansen at number 11. Moving on to the centres. At number 12, I've gone for Stuart McCloskey, and number 13 for Gary Ringrose. I think these two have really built a very good combination. Now, Stuart McCloskey is one of the best players in the world this year. Probably is going to be one of the nominees if he carries on this way for World Player of the Year. I mean, the Six Nations, he led almost all the stats for Ireland. He almost led all the stats for the Six Six Nations in general for the players. So one of the best players, in my opinion, was the player of the Six Nations. But I think it's between Stuart McCloskey and Louis Bilberry right now for World Player of the Year from Europe. Of course, the guys from the Southern Hemisphere have to respond and kind of show what they have, if they can even have a chance to win it. But right now, those two are kind of clear from the rest, looking really good. So Stuart McCloskey at number 12. He is a bit of a late bloomer as well. He's definitely later on in his career, but it just shows you can't give up on those older players, and those guys can still have those breakout seasons later on in their career. So playing the best rugby of his career right now. I think he's in his 30s right now, or near his 30s. I think he's in his 30s, but phenomenal rugby player, looking really good right now, and a very important player for Ireland. Probably one of the top 4 most important players right now. And Gary Ringrose at number 13. He's been hot and cold. He hasn't been at his best. He hasn't been the Gary Ringrose we've known for so many years, but he will get there. He's kind of hot and cold, looking good in patches, but I think he just needs that one breakout game to just be like, look, I'm back. Nobody's going to mess with me now. The number 13 jersey is mine. Because right now, I do think the number 13 jersey is up for grabs. I'd love to see Jamie Osborne get a chance there. I think Jamie Osborne has a bit of a different role in the team right now going forward with how versatile he is. But Gary Ringrose maybe has to pick up his game a bit. He is playing okay, but not kind of like the Gary Ringrose we know and we've seen play for many years in the British and Irish Lions jersey as well. So a lot to work on for him, but he still is the number 13 in my strongest team. Moving on to number 14 is a guy that's just absolutely broken the house down, looking like one of the best wings in world rugby right now, Robert Baloucoune from Ulster. He is battling an injury right now, but wow, this guy's playing some incredible rugby. And what him and Mac Hansen do so well, which is why I'd love to see them on the park together. They work so well off their wing to kind of plug into the line as a fullback, as a fly half, as a kind of second receiver, or even a first receiver sometimes, or even just to clean the ruck if they need an extra cleaner on the outside channel. They do that so well. They are very high IQ rugby players, and they're just playing some really confident rugby right now. They're both very slippery rugby players, very hard to tackle, very good at beating defenders, very good at scoring tries as well. So Mac Hansen on the left and Robert Baloucoune on the right will be very fun to watch going forward, and in my opinion, it's probably the best wing combination right now. But there are other guys as well, like James Lowe played really well in the one game he played. I think it was against Italy. Tommy O'Brien looked really good from the bench as well. So there's a lot of options to choose. So it's a really fun time for the Ireland selectors, or very stressful time for them, but a very fun time for the Ireland fans as well. Moving on to number 15, I was going to go for Jamie Osborne, but because of his utility and the way he can play all around the backline, I'm putting him on the bench. Number 15, Hugo Keenan. Now, I didn't even realize how good Hugo Keenan was until recently. Now, I only started watching the Ireland team, yes, in recent months and stuff like that, and really realizing who these players are and how good some of the players are. But now I know the whole depth chart of Ireland. Hugo Keenan coming back from injury is very important for this team. He's good under the high ball. He's a very composed player. He's one of the leaders in this team. He might not be the vice captain, or maybe he is, but he just leads by example. He's one of those players. He's a big time player. He's good under the high ball. He's physical when he needs to be. He's a very high IQ player. Good kicking game as well. So Hugo Keenan at number 15 for me is a bit of a no-brainer. But moving on to the bench now. The bench front row, I think, will be very versatile. A very strong bench front row. And probably was an area of kind of worry for Ireland in the last few seasons, in the last few months. But number 16, I've gone for Ronan Kelleher. Number 17, Tom O'Toole. And number 18, Finlay Bealham. Now, Tom O'Toole I put there because he is so versatile. If they were to have more injuries, he can play both sides of the scrums, and he really impressed me throughout the Six Nations. Now, Finlay Bealham's been battling a few injuries as well, but I think when he is healthy, when the whole team's healthy, he's probably the best guy to have there. Now, he could be starting in Tide Furlong's place, but I think with the bench being so versatile, so explosive with the players they have, he's probably the perfect guy to bring from the bench to just end the game as strong as possible. Just throw everything you have at the end of the game. He's one of the perfect players for that. And then obviously Ronan Kelleher, I can't speak enough about how good this guy is. He's a physical rugby player, and if Dan Sheehan wasn't there, he'd be the perfect starter for this team, and people would probably say he's one of the best hookers in the world, because right now he is one of the best hookers in world rugby. He's a phenomenal rugby player and a very underrated and underappreciated player, not by the Ireland fans, but by fans like me that don't support Ireland, that don't realize just how good Ronan Kelleher really is. Moving on to number 19, I've gone for Ryan Baird, a very versatile player, and probably not the player you thought I was going to put there. There's a lot of options as well. Cormac is a Chukwu. I mean, there's other guys as well, Edwin Adogbo, Darren Murray, but I think Ryan Baird, being so versatile, you can chuck him anywhere in the forwards, in the loose trio, in the locks, and he'll just add that kind of style that I think Andy Farrell really likes from his forwards, being so athletic, versatile, good at ball in hand, good decision makers as well. So Ryan Baird at number 19 for me. Number 20 is Nick Timoney. Nick Timoney had a phenomenal Six Nations. I mean, this guy just absolutely broke the house down, showing why he deserves to be in the team. He did start a few games, but I think he's one of those guys, same with a guy like Tom O'Toole or Ronan Kelleher. They are so comfortable in the position from the bench that just keep them there. They are so comfortable there. They're going to play their best rugby from the bench, adding that impact in the second half or whenever they have to be called on. And I think Nick Timoney has proven once again that he probably is like the Kwagga Smith of this team, where he can play in the wing, he can play in the loose forwards, he can play anywhere, and he can really add a lot of value. Moving on to number 21, who's, I think, the most important bench player in the Ireland team and one of the top 4 most important players in the Ireland team. You were probably surprised to see that he wasn't in the starting lineup, but I think he just has a better kind of chance of impacting the game while off the bench. He's a very good leader in this team, one of the most experienced players in the team as well, not spoken about enough, very underappreciated. Jack Conan. What a phenomenal rugby player. The tries this guy's been scoring, getting the ball 5 meters out with a massive wall of huge rugby players in front of him, somehow finding a way to score a try multiple times on multiple occasions. Jack Conan is a phenomenal rugby player, a very world-class rugby player that I think is so underappreciated and so underrated. I think Jack Conan and Tide Burn are those 2 players which are really underrated by the rest of world rugby. I think maybe Tide Burn now is getting the recognition he deserves, but Jack Conan definitely is. But he is a phenomenal rugby player and a very important rugby player in this team. He's very versatile and the perfect guy to be in the number 21 jersey for Ireland. So I have gone for a 6-2 split here. I think with how world rugby is currently, with having as many versatile players as possible, having a strong forward pack, especially with the forward packs they will be playing against, I think a 6-2 split is best. But moving on to number 22, I've gone for Craig Casey. Now, I was going to go for Nathan Doak, but looking at it from a realistic perspective, Nathan Doak will have a lot of years starting for Ireland. I think when Jameson Gibson Park does retire, Nathan Doak will naturally go into the number 9 jersey, and Craig Casey will stay comfortable from the bench, adding that value from the bench for Ireland. He's played there a lot of times before. He's actually a very experienced player for Ireland recently. He started as well. I think right now going into the World Cup, Craig Casey is probably the right guy to have there. But I think him on the bench, he fits that role. He's comfortable in that role. Him and Jack Crowley have a combination already. And I think sometimes it's very important, especially if you do have a bench guy coming on, to kind of keep those combinations as cohesive as possible, that they know how to play together, they're comfortable together, that guy can come on and just add impact and be comfortable straight away. But moving on to number 23, a guy that I think will play a similar role to what Kieran Frawley's played in the past, Jamie Osborne. He's a very good rugby player, a very young rugby player. I'd love to see him in the 12 jersey or the 13 jersey, but I just think right now from the bench you can add that kind of Kieran Frawley kind of versatile aspect. Now Kieran Frawley will probably come back in the team eventually. I think him not playing that much for Leinster, maybe because he's going to Connacht, has really kind of hindered his chances recently. He's a very good player who I rate very highly, and I think when he gets that kind of consistent starting minutes at Connacht, he's going to add so much value to them next year, and he'll probably come right back into the team. And even after the next World Cup, he'll have a big role to play as well. But I think right now on form, Jamie Osborne, he's still a young player as well, is such a class player. He's so composed for his age. He adds so much. He scores some good tries. He's physical. He's good under the high ball. He's a good playmaker. He's got good decision making. He ticks all the boxes. Honestly, he's a very, very good rugby player, and I think he ends off this team in the number 23 jersey. So just going over the team one more time. Andrew Porter number 1, Dan Sheehan number 2, Tide Furlong number 3, number 4 Joe McCarthy, number 5 James Ryan, number 6 Tide Byrne, a very versatile player, one of the best players in the team, number 7 Josh van der Vlier, number 8 Caelan Doris, number 9 Jameson Gibson Park, number 10 Jack Crowley, number 11 Mac Hansen, number 12 Stuart McCloskey alongside Gary Ringrose at number 13, number 14 Robert Balakoon, number 15 Hugo Keenan, who's come and shown that he's back at his best basically, number 16 Ronan Kelleher, number 17 Tom O'Toole, who's versatile, can play on both sides of the scrum, number 18 Finlay Beelum, who could also be starting on any day to be honest, number 19 Ryan Baird for his versatility, number 20 Nick Timoney because he's proven how good he is now, number 21 Jack Conan because he's one of the best players in this team, one of the most important players as well, number 22 Craig Casey because of his combination with Jack Crowley, number 23 Jamie Osborne, composed head on his shoulders, can play all over the field. If he started as well, I don't think anybody would be mad. But now who are the players that just missed out? I'm just going to name a few players that I think are on the brink of selection that I think could honestly be in this team on any day, and probably will be in some of the comments of you guys that maybe think these guys should be in the team. Tom Stewart's really close, Cormac Uzuchuku is really close, Darren Murray's close, Edwin Adogball's close, Nathan Doak is really close, Harry Byrne is very close as well, James Lowe, very unlucky to miss out on this team, Tommy O'Brien, probably the most unlucky. He's been in phenomenal form. I just don't see a spot for him right now with the other guys if they are all healthy. And obviously Kieran Frawley. So a lot of guys that are just missing out on the squad. But this just shows the kind of depth Ireland have built, the kind of players they've kind of built over the last few games, the last few seasons. there was a bit of a worrying time thinking what is next. But if you look at all the young players from Ireland, there's a lot of really good youngsters coming through. The depth's looking better. Guys were given opportunities. They've kind of become more comfortable in their role in the team. And I think Ireland right now don't just have a 23, they've got a squad. But let me know down below in the comments who you think is your best 23, who you think I've missed, who you think I got right. I want to hear all your thoughts down below in the comments, and I appreciate all the support. So if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.